ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. So here in this sixth canto, we are seeing the life of Vritrasura and how he was killed by Indra. And there is a question that was asked. So the 13th chapter is where Vritrasura has been killed, and in the 14th chapter now, Parikshit Raja is asking a question because Vritrasura had exhibited a lot of devotion for Bhagawan. And we saw the conversation that happened between Indra and Vritra. So 14th chapter begins with this question of Parikshit, where he says that Rajastamasva bhavasya brahman vritrasya papmanaha narayane bhagavati kathamasi dridhamatihi. That how did Vritrasura have such unflinching devotion for Bhagavan Narayana when he was predominantly filled with rajas and tamas. Rajas tamas svabhavasya. Then they this so Parikshit Raja gives a certain hierarchy to glorify bhakti. So he says, Devanam Shuddha Sattvanam Rishinam Chamalatmanam Bhaktir Mukunda Charane Naprayeno Pajayate. Even for Devatas, Devanam Shuddha Sattvanam Rishinam, even the rishis who are filled with Shuddha Sattva, Amalatmanam, people who are very pure in the mind, even for them, Bhakti Mukunda Charane, devotion for the lotus feet of Bhagavan, Mukunda Muktim Dadati iti Mukundaha. So, bhakti for that Supreme Lord Mukunda does not arise so easily. Prayena upajayate na. Rajobhi samasankhyaataha पार्थिवैरिह जन्तवः तेषां ये केचने हन्ते श्रेयो वै मनुजादयः. So he says that even the living beings, how many are the living beings? As many are the grains of sand. Rajobhi sama sankhyaataha parthivairiha. As many grains of sand or dust particles are there, that many living beings are there. Of them, tesham ye kechane hante, only a few, and shreyo vai manujadayaha, only a few of them, they practice some virtues. And out of let us say basically countless beings, few human beings and some higher beings are practicing virtues. In them also, those who are out of millions, countless beings, some few are practicing. Out of those few also, prayo mumukshavasteisham kechanaiva dvijottama mumukshunam sahasreshu kaschin muchyeta siddhyati. So of those people who are intensely seeking liberation, those who are following virtues, in that there will be few who are intensely seeking liberation. So in those who are seeking liberation, one who is completely rid of all attachments is a very, very rare one. See that. Sahasreshu kaschin muchyeta siddhyati. And that person has come to realize the self. That is a very rare individual who comes to realize the truth. Out of countless ones, few are walking the path. Those who are walking the path, in that one rare person, what is said in the Gita, right? The 7th chapter says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. In thousands of human beings, some rare individual is seeking this liberation. Yatatam api siddhanam. Even those who are striving, kaschin mam veti tatvatah. Some rare individual comes to recognize the oneness and realize the self. So, he says here that among these thousands of them, one person, rare person comes to know this truth. Gita stopped there. Bhagavatam continues ahead. Amongst millions of those people who have realized the truth. See that hierarchy. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanaha. Even those who are mukta, who are free, amongst those thousands of them who are free, Sudurlabha Prashantatma Kotishwapi Mahamune, Kotishwapi, crores of them. In crores of such realized people also, those who are, balanced, Prashantatma, meaning who are free from attachment, sense cravings, the restlessness of the mind, and Narayana Parayana, and who are exclusively devoted to the lotus feet of Bhagavan Narayana, that is the most difficult to find. Vritrastu sa katham papaha sarvaloka patapanaha. Sarvalokopatapanaha. So, among the realized people, only to find somebody who is devoted to Bhagavan Narayana's feet is so rare. How did Vritrasura have such devotion for Bhagavan? When he is not even any of these, he is not practicing virtue, he is not mumukshu, he is not a realized person, and then Bhagavatam says realized person also, in that somebody who is exclusively devoted to Bhagavan's feet is rare. So, that's the question. This Vritra tu katham papa, he is sinful Vritra, and who goes on tormenting the whole world. Itham dridhamati Krishna asit sangrama ulbane. Then how did he have so much of devotion to Bhagavan? And where? Sangrame, sangrama ulbane, in the terrible circumstances of a war. There where life is at stake, one can die any minute, and one is fighting against Indra. So that Vajra of Indra is going to definitely kill him. All that, in spite of it, what has happened? How did he have devotion? So that's the question. Atrana samshayo bhuyat shrotum kautuhalam prabho yah paurushena samare sahasraksham atoshayet. Sahasraksham atoshayat. So he says, now this is our question. Because this is a great doubt that we have, and so we want to know about it. You please tell us. So now Sutaji, he says that when Parikshit asked such a question, then Shukdev Maharaj, he welcomes this inquiry and he starts giving the reply. Shri Shuka Vacha Shunushva Shunushvavahito Rajan Itihasamimam Yatha Shrutam Dvaipayana Mukhad Narada Devaladapi. So he starts narrating the backstory of this Vritrasura. He says that I will tell you the story which I have heard from my father Vedavyasa Rishi, as well as from Naradji and Devala also. So from three sources he has heard this. So he is very clear. He is not saying anything out of his head. He has heard from his father, and it is also, supported by Narada and Devala. So he is going to repeat that. So now he says, Asid Raja Sarvabhaumaha Shuraseneshu Vaidapa Chitraketuriti Khyato Yasyasit Kamadhun Mahi. So there was this land of Shurasena, and in that, this king called this Chitraketu was there. And this Chitraketu, how is he? He is very famous. Khyataha and Kamadhung Mahi. Mahi means earth. This earth, as though has become a Kamadhenu for him, meaning he is able to extract maximum resources from the earth, whatever he desires, earth is able to give him. Tasya bharya sahasranam sahasrani dasha bhavan santani kaschapi nripo nalebhe tasu santatim. He had 1 crore wives. See that. Sahasranam sahasrani dasha bhavan. 1 crore wives he had, but though he is capable of having children, santatim na labhet asu. He did not have even one. And so what happened to him? Very anxious he became. Rupaudarya vayo janma vidyaishwarya shriyadibihi sampannasya gunai sarvaihi chinta vandhyapa terabhut. Now, this chinta, this anxiety filled him. He has everything. See that. He has rupa, so he is handsome. Audarya, he is very generous. Then Audarya, Vayaha, he has age, meaning he is young. Then Janma, he is from a royal family. Aishwarya, he has glory. Shri, he has wealth, knowledge, everything. Sampannasya gunaihi sarvaihi. He is filled with lot of virtues. All this he has, but he doesn't have a child. Maya is like this only. Dasharatha Maharaj was also like that. He had everything, he didn't have a son. He had a daughter actually. There was a daughter born to him before even Ramji's birth. The daughter's name is Shanta. He gave the daughter Shanta to his friend King Romapada because that king did not have a child, and so Shanta was adopted. And that Shanta was married to Rishyasringa Rishi, and Rishyasringa Rishi did the Putra Kameshti Yajna finally. And through that, Dasharatha Maharaj got 4 sons. So the point is, Dasharatha Maharaj was also feeling like this, just like how he is feeling. And yes, while there is something where One can say that yes, a child is required to carry forward the lineage of the family, to take care of whatever is the property and other things and use it appropriately. So all that, some functional need may be there, but what is the Maya here? What we don't have, that is what the mind will always focus on. That is the first thing. Second thing, the root cause of our feeling incomplete, inadequate, insufficient is not that we lack something, is the ignorance that we lack nothing. When I don't know my true nature as Paramananda, then I am trying to fill my emptiness with something which is incomplete. What I seek is permanent happiness, completeness, Purnatvam. And how will Purnatvam be ever attained? It can never be attained. No matter what we do, it will remain Apurnam only. So things which are by themselves perishable, inert, incomplete in the world, they can't fill me with completeness. Nothing can in fact fill me with completeness, because completeness is by itself there, is always there. Now that one doesn't know. So one tries to say, if I become this, then I will be more happy. If I go there, I will be more happy. If I eat this, I will be more happy. If I get that thing, I will be more happy. That is the way Maya keeps us bound. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Keep coming round and round in the cycle of birth and death. Why? Desire is pushing. And desire does not get fulfilled in the same life. So for that, I have to take new body. Continue. Life after life, this will go on. So here it is, Chitraketu was also feeling that Natasya Sampada Sarva Mahishyo Vamalochanaha Sarvabhaumasya Bhushcheyam Abhavan Priti Hetavaha. All this, whatever he had, all the riches that he had, Sampadaha, Sarva, and that wealth of the entire globe, as though, yes, Sarva Mahishyo Vamalochanaha. And he has so many beautiful eyed queens, Vamalochanaha. Then Sarvabhaumasya, he has the sovereignty of the earth. Bhushcheyam, he has the sovereignty of the whole earth. None of this Abhavan Priti Hetavaha. None of this have brought him any delight. Why? Because his mind is obsessed with what is not there. Now, Tasyaikadatu Bhavanam Angira Bhagawan Rishihi. Once what happened, this great Rishi Angira, he came to his palace. Lokan Anucharan Etan Upagachad Yadrichaya. So Angira Rishi is a tapasvi, is a great Rishi. And what did he do? He honored him, worshipped him, and offered him whatever, basic courtesy and items in worship, etc. he offered. And then what happened? He sat with the sage. Tam pujayitva vidhivat pratyuthanarhanadibihi krita atityam upasidat sukhasinam samahitaha. Having done all this, he sat down near the sage. Now the sage saw him. Mahashistam upasinam prashrayanvantam kshitau. Prashraya vanatam kshitau pratipujya maharaja samabhashed amabravit. Idam abravit. So the sage, he saw him, and he asked him, all the courtesy, everything has been offered, and the sage saw that this Chitraketu is not looking very happy. So he started inquiring about him. And what did he say? Angira uvacha. Apitena mayam swasti prakritinam tathatmanah yatha prakritir bhirguptah puman rajapi saptabhihi. A king has seven prakritis. Prakriti in this context means seven aspects. Prakriti here does not mean nature. It's not the nature of the king, seven things. No. So he says, Apitena tena amayam swasti. Hope your health is good, your mind is happy, you don't have any diseases. Prakritinam tathatmanaha. Yours, Atmana is yours. Prakritinam is of the seven things. And what are those things? So the high priest, the chief minister, the territories, the people, the fortresses, the treasury, the police and the army. These are the seven things. So he says, I hope there is law and order and you are enjoying good health. You as well as your prakritis all are doing well. So basic courtesy he has asked. Apidara prajamatyaha bhritya श्रेण्योथ मंत्रिणः पौरा जनपदा भूपा atmaja vashavartinah. So he says that this king, so little more he goes ahead to say that just like the jiva is protected by the seven layers. What are those seven? Mahat Tattva, the cosmic intelligence, and Ahankara, and five subtle elements. These are the seven things that make up the subtle body. Now, he says, just like the jiva is protected by these seven, you are protected by the seven prakritis that are there. And you are happy. That's the inquiry. The king can enjoy the blessings of sovereignty by actually placing himself under the control of his prakritis, and prakritis are likewise enriched by the king by following his will and carrying out his commands, O ruler of men. Atmanam prakritishu baddha nidhaya shreya apnuyat rajnya tatha prakritayoho naradevahi tadhayah. Both complement each other, both are to support each other and protect each other. So these are inquiries he makes, and through that he is also telling him Rajadharma. Then he says that a king can enjoy the blessings of sovereignty by actually placing himself under the control of the Prakriti. That's what we just saw. Then he says, are your wives, subjects, ministers, servants, people following particular trades, counselors, citizens, inhabitants of the other parts of your state, tributary chiefs and offsprings obedient to your will? Meaning, do they listen to you? Atmaja Vashavartinaha. Now, when Vashavarti said, one should not think, oh, now why is the king controlling all of them? There is no such thing. This is the king governs. And so he's asking, I hope they all are listening to you and you are able to do what is good for them. All these follow the will of the man whose mind is under his control. This is a very nice one. Yasyatma anu vashas chetsyat sarve tad vashaga ime. See, we want to control others, but we have no control on ourselves. Bhagavatam here is saying one who has controlled himself or herself, meaning mastered oneself, the effect of that person on the rest of them will be much more powerful. But when we have not mastered ourselves, then we try to control people, dominate and boss over. It will not work. They may do once or twice because of some fear, pressure, some compulsion. They are helpless sometimes. But it will not be, that is not the way to treat people, or in the long run, this will not sustain. So that's why he says that Tadvashaga ime. One should have control on oneself before one controls the others. Loka sapala yachanti sarve balim atandritaha. So he goes on to say that all the words along with their guardian deities dutifully offer tribute to such a person who has attained self-mastery. So even a king is supposed to, live in such a way that one is in control of one's own body, mind, intellect. Why does one need control? Because there is choice. And when choice is there, one will want to make choices where it may be adharmic, it may be some temptation one falls for, some distraction, and one loses control. Then the karmic consequences will also come, and then if the king is doing certain things which are not right, appropriate, or immoral, Praja will just follow. Whole society will disintegrate. So, very important it is that the king ensures that the king lives in a certain self-discipline. So he says this, uh, such a person who lives in self-discipline, the world will offer a tribute to that person. Now he comes to the Chitraketu specific case, and he says, Atmana priyate natma paratasvata evava lakshye alabdha kamam tvam chintaya shavalam submukham. He says, looking at your face, you are filled with worry, and your face is discolored with anxiety. So he says, I thereby conclude that you have not attained the object of your desire. What did he want? He wanted a child. That child only has not come. 1 crore wives he has, he couldn't get a child. So, very dejected, sad. So, Angira Rishi says, I think you have not attained the object of your desire. So he says, Evam Vikalpito Rajan Vidusha Muninamapi Muninapi Saha Prashtayavanta Ubhyaha Abhyaha, sorry. Praja Kamas Tato Munim. So he says that all this sadhu, all this when Angira Rishi said to him, though Angira Rishi is a very great, maybe a Trikala Jnani, he still asked to Chitraketu ki, what do you seek? Why are you like this with so much of anxiety and you have so much of stress? So to him, Chitraketu, he bent low with all modesty, humility, and what did he reply? So he said, Chitraketuru Vacha. Bhagavan kimna viditam tapo jnana samadhibhi yoginam dvatsta papanam bahiranta sharirishu. That you are a great yogi, all your papas have got destroyed. Inside the body, outside the body, through tapasya, you have destroyed the papas. And what is there which is not within the reach of such great yogis? Himna viditam, what is it that is not known? Why? Tapo jnana samadhibhi. Through these three, through austerity, tapas, then jnana, that is spiritual enlightenment, and samadhi is absorption in the truth. So he says, those yogis who have purified their mind, who are abiding in this truth, what is not known to them? Still, because you are asking the question, I am going to answer. Because you have asked it, so it is your command as though, and so I am going to speak about it. And he says, the thought which is foremost in my mind to you who ask me about it, even though you know it. Then he gives one example. He says, Lokapalairapi prathyaha samrajyaishwarya sampadaha na tadanyantya na tadanyantya prajamam kshutra kama mivapare. So he goes on to say that this sovereignty of the entire globe and the power and the affluence attending it, which are worthy of being coveted even by guardians of the spheres, they don't bring any delight to me. Why? Because I don't have a child. Just as the other things do not rejoice him who longs for food and drink under pressure of hunger and thirst. So he says, you please protect me and show me some way out. Tata pahi mahabhaga purvai sahagatam mama yatha tarema dustaram prajaya tad videhinaha. Now you please tell us how to get out of this darkness of this hell, and why we have reached here because of all our karmas, our ancestors, and not able to cross over whatever may be the negative consequences because of which a child is not born. Now please help us to cross over this dark abyss of being issueless. So Shukdev ji, he replies that what did Angira Rishi do? So he was a very merciful person. He is a son of Brahmaji. In the Saptarishis he will come. So what did he do? He said we should do some special offerings to Tvashta. And through that Havan, through those offerings, we will propitiate him, and through his grace, you will get the child. And he said that so now when the yajna is done, the yajna purusha comes out of it, again comes up with some offering which the queen can have. So the Brahmana gave the remainder of the sacrificial offerings to the queen known by the name Kritadyuti. The eldest queen. 1 crore queens may say the eldest one is Kritadyuti. And to that Kritadyuti, this offering was given, and Angira Rishi told to Chitraketu, O king, a son who will be the source of both joy and grief to you will be born to you. Now this is what the Rishi said. That line is Harsha Shoka Pradastubhyam iti Brahma Suto Yayau. Having said that, he went from Brahma Suto Yayau. He went there. He went from there. So now this is Angira Rishi's blessing. The son will be what? Will also bring joy and will also bring grief. Now, possibilities of bring joy and grief coming, there are so many possibilities. Child is not the only one, but in this context, it is that because that's what he wanted. So after having said, he left, and the queen started eating the offering that was given to her. So it is said that Sapi tat prashanadeva Chitraketor adharayat garbham kritadyutir devi kritikagre privatmajam. So this Kritadyuti, she conceived a child through this King Chitraketu, and the example given here is of how goddess Kritika, presiding deity over the Kritika Nakshatra, conceived a son through the god of fire. Now when this lady has conceived, the queen has conceived, so it starts growing, day by day it is growing. Example given here is even as the moon waxes during the bright fortnight. So it will keep growing, waxing, and then the waning phase. Okay, that's a limitation of example, but waxing. Like that, the child is growing. Now what happens? Now when the time for delivery has come, a son was duly born, causing supreme delight to all. The inhabitants of the Shurasena's territory who heard it, they all were very delighted that chalo, finally a son is born now. Child is born. In that it happens to be a son. He was issueless. He didn't have any children only. Now at least a child is born, and that happens to be a son, so double delight. Now the king, who felt very delighted, took his bath, purified, adorned himself with all ornaments, and then he gets the brahmanas to do the swasti vachan and all that. And he did this jata karma samskar. What does that samskar have? Ceremony of touching a newborn babe's tongue thrice with ghee after appropriate prayers. Now that was performed, and to the brahmanas he gifted many things in charity: gold, silver, clothes, ornaments, villages, horses, elephants, 60 million cows. So all that is the tradition at that time, and king is happy after so many years. He is having a child, and his main worry is taken care of now because the child is born. So he did a lot of charity. Like a rain cloud sending down the showers according to the will of the people, the generous king gratified the desire of other people also by making gifts calculated to bring riches, glory, longevity to the child. Now, very nicely he says here, 36th one, Krichalabdhetha Rajarshehe Tanaye Nudinam Pituhu Yatha Niswasya Krichrapte Dhane Snehonva Vardhata. So he says here that the affection of the father, the royal sage Chitraketu, he is supposed to be a pious, generous king, what we saw, follows values and all that. So, the royal sage Chitraketu, for his son, who had been god after great hardship, constantly grew from day to day like the love of a pauper for his hard-earned money. So he started getting attached to his son. The attachment of the mother to her son, however, grew to an excessive degree, caused as it was by infatuation. While agony in the shape of longing for a son appeared in the heart of the co-wives of Queen Kritadyuti. So the father and mother both are getting attached to the son, and other wives who are there, they are jealous now. She got a son, we did not get. Now the king is partial to her, king is ignoring us, all that, So the jealousy started. And even as Chitraketu fondled the child every day, no such type of excessive fondness appeared in his heart for his other wives as he developed for the one who was blessed with a son. So now he also has an issue. He also is feeling, that attachment for this eldest queen, Kritadyuti, because she finally got a son and a child. Others have not. So that special love that he has for her, he doesn't have for others. So now that is hurting them more. Reproaching themselves through jealousy, they felt agonized due to the grief caused by issuelessness and the indifference shown to them by the king. Fie upon the accursed woman without a child, not esteemed at home by her husband, and is insulted like a maid servant by her co-wives, blessed with good children. This is their imagination actually. There's only one queen who has a child, and nobody is ill-treating the other queens. But in their mind, they are feeling insecure, jealous. So they are saying, the others behaved badly with them. What agony can be the lot of maid servants constantly honored because of their service rendered to the master? We wretched women are no better than the maid servant of a maid servant. So those who serve the king, these people are thinking, we are the one who is serving that person who is serving the king. So dasasya dasi, like that. This is not humility. Otherwise, in some places it will be humility. This King Kulashekar Alvar, one of the 12 great Alvars, the great devotees of Bhagawan Vishnu. So he writes in Mukunda Mala, he says, Bhrityasya Bhrityasya Bhritya iti smara lokanatha. That I am the servant of the servant of the servant. In that way you remember me, O Bhagavan. So if we have to give an example, Bharatji says, I am the servant of Bhagavan Ram. Shatrugnaji says, I am servant of Bharat. This is Bhrityasya Bhrityasya Bhritya. The servant's servant. So Bharatji, Shatrugnaji, and someone in that context, we have only four brothers, but if there's somebody who is serving Shatrugnaji, then that type of humility is what I want. That is what he says. So that is in that context of what the king said, that may I be as humble as the servant of the servant of the servant. Because bhakti will grow only in a humble heart. Here it is not like that. Here they are feeling jealousy. Oh, how can I be servant, servant? Not even three levels. Servant of the servant of the servant. No, two only. If there is a queen, I am serving her. Then why should I be? Who is she and who am I? Why should I serve? All that type of ego. So these other queens have started having that ego. The cruel-hearted ladies who had lost their good sense through deep malice and were full of resentment towards the king administered poison to the child. See what jealousy can do. What we don't have or what we are longing for, and somebody else has it. Now what the jealousy will make us feel? I'm unlucky, or I didn't get it, I don't deserve, I don't have this, so the people are treating me badly, and now somebody else has it, so I feel insecure. Now what to do? Pull that person down. Take away that thing from that person. Instead of lifting oneself up, one is trying to pull others down. So they administered poison and the child died. Obviously now here they have not said it immediately. So there's some drama happening here. This Krita Duty doesn't know the child is, dead. So she had no idea of the grievous misdeed of her co-wives. Thought on looking at it that the child was asleep and went about in the palace. So she is thinking, okay, the child is asleep, so went around doing some other work. Perceiving, however, that the child had been sleeping too long, the wise queen commanded the nurse, bring me the babe, O good woman. When, however, she went near the child lying in the bed and found that the pupils of its eyes had turned upward, and that life, the senses, and the other faculties of the soul had quit it, she cried, I am finished, and dropped on the ground. So this lady, the maid servant, she saw first, oh, this child is dead. Now the nurse, when the nurse gave out this painful cry, then she was violently beating her chest too with both hands. The queen quickly entered into the presence of her child and found her infant a victim of sudden death. He has died. She didn't even expect. This is one very, difficult thing for a spiritual sadhak to follow, is to act in such a way that others don't get jealous of us. They don't feel threatened by us. They don't feel that they are up against us. So it is they versus us. Now, obviously, we can do certain things in our control to be loving, polite, communicate, establish a bond, you know, all that one can do. And one is not consciously doing something to make them feel lesser. If this queen who had a son went around teasing every other queen, saying, you see, I only got, you all didn't get, useless you are. The king loves me more because I have given a child. If you have that capability, then you also produce and show, let us see. Now, if one has that attitude, then obviously it will be you versus them. But if one is loving, kind, compassionate, then the challenge will not be there at all. People, at least from, one's, from what is in one's hand, one has not done something to instigate them or to, create jealousy in them. Now, if one has been loving, polite, kind, and all that, and still people are jealous, that is their problem. Then we can't help it. In the Gita, I am saying this based on the Gita. In the Gita 12th chapter, Bhagawan gives this, Bhakta Lakshan. In that one line comes there. Yasma na udvijate lokaha, loka na udvijate chayaha. Harsha marsha bhaya udvegaihi mukto ya sachame priyaha. Who is not disturbed by the world and who does not disturb the world? That devotee is one who is dearest to Bhagavan. Here, the queens, other queens, see, even if this queen has not gone, Kritadyuti has not gone and tried to show off, the heart of the other queens is empty. This comparison and feeling insecure and all this will come when I'm not happy with myself, I'm not secure with myself, then I want to get something else and become happy. And then if somebody else has and I don't have it, then jealousy and then try to pull that person down. All waste of time, energy, resources, everything. So one has to be secure within oneself. That is the main thing. Otherwise, one may even get a child, still the insecurity remains. It's not about things, it is about what I know about myself, how I feel, what are my goals, and how do I align myself with that. It is that. So, when this queen entered, the maid was already crying, and then the queen entered and she saw, yes, the son has gone. Now she fainted on the floor, her hair flung about, garments thrown out of order, and the nurse who was there, she was anyway crying. Now hearing all that, what happened? The other inmates who are there in that palace, both men, women, they all came there. And they started sharing the queen's grief. And even all the other queens, they also shed crocodile tears. They only are responsible for the death of this child, but crocodile tears. Society has to see. Perception, bapre. So much is perception game. Truth is something else only. But what is propagated, presented, oh. You see war also which happened some time back. How much lies after lies that Pakistan goes on saying. Lies. This many planes we have brought down, this many soldiers we have killed, and that airbase we have destroyed. What? Anything. And the world is believing also, some of them. So, these queens also, some propaganda, you have to look, you have to be in the good books of everybody and all that. So, oh yeah, how sad it is, and they're crying, oh, this only one child. After so much effort and blessings and all that, one child was born and now that also is dead. All kinds of drama. All crocodile tears, they also shed. Now the king came to know, Chitraketu, he came to know, oh Bapre, the son died. So hearing that his son had died, though the cause of his death was still unknown, the king lost his vision through grief intensified beyond measure. by uninterrupted love. So when the so he went there with all his ministers and all. He goes there, followed by his ministers and other people, and surrounded by the Brahmanas. He came stumbling and falling on the way and sighing deeply. And he also saw Kyore, the son is dead. He fell there. At the feet of that son only he fell there out of excessive grief and became unconscious. Again, his hair is disheveled and clothes thrown about in disorder. Throat is choked due to obstruction caused by tears. Could not utter a word. Now, when this queen, the eldest queen, Kritadyuti, she saw Kyare, the king also has, has become unconscious and all that. Uh, the virtuous queen then wailed in various ways, enhancing the heartache of the people as well as the ministers and everyone present there. Bathing her breasts painted with saffron and sandal paste with the drops of her tears mixed with collyrium and throwing about her hair with flowers dropping from them, she mourned the death of her child. And what does she say? Alas, O Creator, you are extremely foolish in that you act contrary to the interest of your own creation. Straight on Bhagawan only. That you act contrary to the well-being of the people in your creation. This only shows lack of surrender, and this also shows that one has not understood. The knowledge is not there. Ki Bhagavan gives the karma as per the karma phala of the jiva. No speciality is there towards anybody, meaning no favoritism is there towards anybody and no aversion is there towards anybody. Each one gets the result of some karma. Randomly, Bhagavan is not doing anything. Difficult times when they come, people can lose hope in Bhagavan. They can become bitter, or they can use that to increase their Shraddha in Bhagavan and say, Ki Bhagavan is with me, I will overcome this, I will get out of this, his protection is there. Either ways one can go. Here this queen has gone the other way, saying, Ki, you are extremely foolish in that you act contrary to the interest of your own creation. Oh, the death of a youngster while an elder is still living points to this. So if dharma had been followed, this would not have happened, and you are not following dharma and you are acting contrary to the interest of your own subjects of your creation. So the proof is in this, that the child has died and the parent is alive. If however you are just the reverse, a wise fellow doing all this designedly, that would have happened. You are our constant enemy. You are not a benefactor. Meaning, if you were really following dharma and all that, then it would have been the reverse. Meaning that people who are old will die first, then the the middle-aged ones, and then the children. It will go in that order. If at all, it has to be like that. But it has not happened like that. If it is urged that there is no strict regularity in this world in the matter of death and the birth of embodied beings, then let everything happen according to their karma, independent of you. This is all emotion speaking. Otherwise, this won't stand one argument logically. The emotions will make a person talk like this. It is strange, however, that you are cutting asunder this cord of affection which was produced by yourself for the growth of your creation. Between the child and the mother, there's a bond, there's a closeness, and now suddenly the child has died, and so that bond is cut, and now the mother is in so much of pain. So she's telling Bhagavan this, that you only produce this so that creation will go forward, and now you have only snapped it. Now looking at the dead child, she says, and you, dear child, ought not to forsake me, a wretched and helpless woman. Look at your father burning with grief. with you as our pilot, we could easily cross the dark regions of hell. See, putra literally means that pum nama narakat trayate iti putra. One who helps the parents and the ancestors to mm, not go to the places to suffer. Some naraka called pum. So by doing the antyeshti karma, shraddha karma, pindadan, tarpan, all that, the sadgati of the jiva is ensured. Now, obviously, it all depends on the karmic baggage of the jiva also. One can't say that jiva could have done anything and then the child will do the antyeshti karma and the jiva is free from all the baggage of karmic consequences. No, no. Thinking of it in a general way that there is a person who has lived a morally right life and earned whatever with dharmic means. Now, when that person dies and there is a child who will do the samskaras, then that sadgati of that jiva will happen. So that's why she says here that, you are our, like a means to cross over this terrible suffering in the hell. Now that is gone. With you as our pilot, we could easily cross the dark regions of hell, which is difficult to cross for the issueless. That's the whole point. Those who don't have children can't cross. Meaning, see, we have to understand some of this also in a broader context. The idea is not only to say that only if children are there, then they will get sadgati, otherwise they will all fall. Not necessary. This is in general. If the person is continuing to do sadhana, tapasya, anchor in Bhagawan, doing the nitya puja or japa, whatever sadhana one takes up, then in that big context, it doesn't matter. But yes, in society it matters because now then everybody starts taking to that path. Okay, I don't want marriage today. That's what is happening. Not that they want to do some tapasya and be some renunciates or live in some, spiritual sadhana. They don't want marriage because of selfishness. Some of them, different reasons people have. Some of them are concerned about whatever the legal consequences could be, and their laws are stacked against men as of now. Some people are considering about commitment. Can I live with the whole, same person whole life? So many reasons are there why people don't want to get married. So here, um, having married, having got a child, that child will ensure that all this, the rituals are done. Now that will help that jiva to move ahead. So he says here that please do not go far in the company of cruel death. She says to the child, oh, the child is already gone, but please don't go far in the company of cruel death. Arise, darling, meaning you come back into this body, wake up. Arise, darling, these infant playmates of yours, O prince, are calling you to romp freely with them. You have slept long and you must be seized with hunger. So get up. I have to feed you milk. You get up. And having lost all good fortune, I could not behold your lotus-like countenance with its innocent smile and cheerful glances. Or taken by the cruel death, you have gone to the other world, whence you are not going to return. For I no longer hear your sweet words. So she is lamenting like this now. And Shukdevji resumes there. He says that along with the queen, the emperor Chitraketu also wailed at the top of his voice, extremely agonized as he was. Now, in this way, when both of them are wailing, all the others who were there, those who were devoted to that king, so all the men as well as women, they all wept and everything was lifeless as it were. Now the king has also lost his consciousness, and the queen is also in despair. At that time, what happens? Again, Angira Rishi comes with Naradji. So that's why this 14th chapter ends. And what happens further? that we will take up in our next class.
प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की मंगल कांति हसनी दसनन की मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की मंगल आरती मंगल बणिक त्रिभंगी हरि की मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की मंगल छवि नैनन में अटकी मंगल आरती पभी अंग अंग की मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की मंगल चितमणि नागर नट की मंगल आरती मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की मंगल आरती मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की मंगल जुगल प्रिया भावन की मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति डोल की मंगल आरती मंगल आरती राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतो यमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
What are the 7 elements that make up the subtle body? 7, yeah. So 5 elements, Mahat Tattva and Ahankar. So this Mahat Tattva is total, so cosmic intelligence, and Ahankar. So the Samashti Ahankara, that is Samashti Ahankar, Mahat Tattva, and the 5 elements, subtle 5 elements. Could one take away from this belief that if something is not in your destiny, don't crave it, you may get it, but it will ultimately get you grief. See, the point here is we will never know what is there in our destiny. Point 1. Point 2, there is no point in running away from that craving. If I can let it go and find my joy in myself and something else, great. Which is what Vedanta is saying, discover who you are truly and your nature is Ananda, then you don't have to depend on anything else. Point 3, now that Chitraketu, he had that craving for a child, so he did whatever he could do, and by the blessing of that Tvashta, he got a son also. You will see further what will happen. We have stopped at a very crucial juncture. This is the backstory, Vritrasura. So he got finally, with all whatever effort and special grace of Devatas and all that offering that he did, so he got a child. Now the point is, so the desire doesn't stop with that, no? So the child is not wanted for the child's sake. Child is wanted for what? So, okay, my child, I will have the joy of bringing up the child, and then the child will become the next king, and I will hand over and all. That is so. The desire, it is not one. With that are connected so many other desires. They will all come now, and now those desires are not getting fulfilled because the child died. Now grief is there. So the point there is my expectation and attachment. When this will happen, then only I will be happy. That has to be handled, because each one comes with their baggage. The child also has come with his past baggage. It's not suddenly one independent jiva who has come in one's life. Child has come with his karma. The parent is having his own karma. And now there are other queens who have had jealousy and they who killed this child. So how much karmic things are intertwined in this? What will we insist upon? That's why surrender and do what best one can do and leave the rest. Beyond that, one can't do anything more. That one doesn't understand. So main point to be learned from this is, one of the things is surrender. That the chapter began with that, no? The devotion to Bhagawan's feet is very rare. What does the devotion mean? That means surrender. The learning need not be this, that don't crave for it, because if you get it also, it will be taken away from you and you will get grief. Anyway, anything what you get also will be taken away from you, no? Even what is there in that so-called destiny is temporary only. Suppose with 1 crore queens, he had 50 children, let us say. As though those 50 children are going to be with him all the time. He is going to get grief even through those 50 children, because they are temporary. Either some of them will go or he will go. Some will turn out to be good, some may turn out to be bad, indifferent, anything. So prarabdha and each one's karma is so much. In that one can get completely lost. So best is hold on to Bhagavan's feet, do what best one can do, leave everything else, because that is all useless and perishable anyway. If I don't have devotion to Bhagavan, I can do anything, but I will be in misery only. Whether desire is fulfilled, not fulfilled, craving is there, craving is fulfilled, it is all nothing, no use. And if bhakti is there, anything can happen to me, I will be secure. Look at Prahlad ji, what all he went through, Bapre. Nothing, no problem. Why? Devotion to Bhagavan. That's all is required. So the main point in my understanding is this: be Narayana Parayana. Be surrender to Bhagavan. That's it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.